Shalom. So today we're going to look at the fourth day and the concept of time. So when you're dealing with time, time is a concept of the human mind. Right? So we have two ways to look at it, from the spirit and from the mind. Because from the spirit, it's eternal. From the mind, it's time. Right? Spirit and the mind. Now, when you're dealing with the fourth day, people might say the sun, the moon, and the stars have nothing to do with time, because then the Sabbath would be 3 days after that. Right? Is that so? Now let's go to time from the concept of our minds. What is time? A baby spends how long in the mother's womb? 9 months, right? Average. Now the question is, this 9 months, is it from the standpoint of the mother or the child? Whose perception of time is this? The child in the womb would be in darkness. The mother is in light. Who has a concept of time? It's the mother. Because time does not exist where? In darkness. When I say darkness, I don't mean turning off the light. There's a darkness that is beyond time. Because time really begins with the sun. When you are in a cave, do you have a concept of time? No, you don't. It's just pure, literal darkness. This is why he said in the beginning there was darkness. But then afterwards, after the light came and so forth, guess what? He named the darkness light. So it's no more darkness, but it's called night. Because it follows day, or the daylight period. But when you take this out of the equation, it's beyond time. The child in the womb, the baby in the womb, is beyond time. There's no concept of time. There's no thought. So time really deals with what? Thought, the mind. For example, you make breakfast 7 a.m. You take the kids to school 7:30. The distance between here and here we refer to as time. Right? So again, this has to do with the human mind. Because when you get to this part, you will see it is beyond time. Just as the Most High, he says, one day is like 1,000 years. What is he really telling us? He is beyond time. He is not defined by this. This is why we hurry to get things done, because we are defined by this. Everything in earth is defined by this. we have to do everything quick under the sun. He is beyond this. Time does not exist for him. So when you read about from Genesis 1 coming all the way down to the fourth day, guess what? From our standpoint, when he says, let there be light, what is this? The first what? Thought. When he said, so I'm going to put the time in here, let there be light, 0 hour, 0 minute, and 0 seconds, milliseconds, whatever, right? When he says, and there was light, this is what? Our second thought. This is 0 hour, 0 minutes, millisecond. This is what time is. The period between two thoughts or two events. Right? So hope you can understand this. So in the beginning when it says, let there be light, and there was light, it was talking about the sun. So when it says, let there be light, it was still what? Timeless. Let there be the sun. There is the sun. The first second, the first millisecond, time started. This is why at the end of all of that, he could say what? The evening and the morning were the first complete day. You finish an entire 12-hour period. So when we come into existence on the fifth day, and we're reading all of that, what took place, from our standpoint, we can understand the concept of time. Just as, for example, because sometimes people say, you can't, as I said before, the fourth day, the sun, the moon, and the stars, it's impossible for it to deal with the Sabbath because 3 days afterwards could be a Sabbath. Again, we're putting the Most High in our bracket. We are limited. He is unlimited. We are finite. He is infinite. Right? But we're going to see something different when we get to this part. Now, let's think about it this way. You as a parent, you are here since you've experienced day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, right? A mother gives birth on the 5th day. Right? That means the child was born there. Right? So if your child is born on the 5th day of the week, does it alter the fact that you're going to go to your temple on the Sabbath day, the 7th day, 2 days afterwards? No, it does not change it. It does not change anything here because this belongs to the Most High. So I hope you can use that to see. So it's the same thing. If this here is the Sabbath, guess what? If he created men here, it does not change the fact that this 2 days afterwards would be the Sabbath, which we know is not 2 literal days like 2 12-hour days as we experience today, right? Because he is beyond time. 1 day for him, for us. 1 day for him is like 1,000 years for us, right? It's like 100 years. Now, the next thing is that we need to understand when he said in Genesis 1 and 15, and let them be for Let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven, to give light upon the earth. When you go to First Esdras, it gives you a little bit more. It's not just to give light upon the earth, because what? It is to give service unto man. So we can do what? Have concepts of timing. His timing, when to worship him, when to do this, when to plant, when to all of these things. This is a service. So when he says, let the lights be in order, you're going back to the what? The constellations. Okay, when it comes to when the sun passes through this constellation, it is springtime. And what happens in springtime? It's time for your crop, you plant, you're harvesting, you get this, right? The fullness of the sunshine. So it's talking about all of that. It does not change the fact that his seventh day is the seventh day.